This girl is participating in a blind date. The man asked her how much cash she had saved. She felt that discussing this topic on the first meeting was inappropriate. Afterward, the man asked about her occupation. She is a civil servant with modest income but a stable job. The man was satisfied with her occupation. Before she could respond, he brought up her age, hoping she would be willing to have children immediately after marriage. She quickly interrupted, affirming that she is a firm believer in not getting married. She explained that she came here today just to meet men, date if compatible, or casually interact if interested. Before leaving, she mocked him, saying that if everyone got married, society would face serious problems. Jung Hannah, 29 years old, is a strong advocate of single living. As a civil servant, her salary is not high, but since she has no plans to marry or have children, she spends freely and lives a carefree life. After work, Hannah often goes to the gym, then to a recording studio to sing, and ends her day by sitting on the sofa, drinking beer, and reflecting on her life goals. She plans to save money and live as a street artist in rural Mediterranean areas after retirement. To maintain her joyful single life, Hannah needs to keep her civil servant job. However, one day, a man came to her office looking for the team leader, who had secretly left early. The man brought a bucket of trash and accidentally spilled it on Hannah. Feeling unlucky, she changed clothes and then noticed an announcement at City Hall about the formation of a marriage promotion team under the mayor. The purpose of this team was to encourage civil servants to promote marriage among citizens, with the promise of favorable performance evaluations for participants. Hannah was indifferent to this, believing that the growing fear of marriage among young people made matchmaking a pointless task. While reading the announcement, the team leader called her, and coincidentally, her phone was lying on the table. The team leader noticed he was saved in her contacts as Brad. Pretending to be generous, he asked Hannah to express all her complaints about him. She candidly said that whenever there were tough complaints to handle, he would hide in the restroom, leaving the difficult tasks to his subordinates. That afternoon, Hannah was reassigned to the fake marriage promotion team. She felt helpless, being someone who didn't believe in marriage. She was now forced into the role of a matchmaker. 3 years ago, Hannah wasn't completely opposed to marriage. While working at a matchmaking company, under the pressure of meeting targets, she introduced a woman to a man with a terrible personality, which led to the woman being mistreated. At that time, Hannah was about to marry her boyfriend. Their wedding invitations had even been printed. However, he cheated on her on the very day they planned to send out the invitations. This shattered her faith in marriage. Now, indifferent to the concept of marriage, she was forced to discuss how to promote the mayor's marriage project during the team meeting. According to her research, more than half of those interviewed in their 20s and 30s believed that marriage was unnecessary in an environment where fear of marriage was spreading. How could the mayor's marriage promotion project be encouraged? The mayor brought in some documents and instructed the team to start with a young man named Bong Chul-wei. A documentary had been made about Chul-wei, who was born on a small island and was at a marriageable age. He cared for his nieces and nephews daily and was eager to start a family but couldn't find a partner. The mayor intended to use Chul-wei as a breakthrough and tasked Hannah, with her matchmaking experience, to find a wife for him. The mayor promised a special reward if Hannah completed the mission. After some consideration, Hannah decided to take on the task, hoping to be transferred to the department she desired after its completion. The mayor agreed. Young Hannah reviewed the information and set off by boat to the island the next day. Upon arriving, she encountered a young man holding an axe, talking on the phone about chopping something hard and burying it. Hannah imagined a horror movie scene involving dismemberment and was so terrified that she stumbled and fell before the man approached her. She quickly fled the area. Despite feeling uneasy about the island, she continued with her mission. Hannah contacted the village chief to explain her purpose and inquire about Chul-wei's whereabouts. Soon after, the axe-wielding man reappeared. Hannah then discovered that this rough and intimidating-looking man was, in fact, Chul-wei. She introduced herself and explained her mission. Chul-wei naively suspected Hannah of being a scammer and demanded to see her civil servant ID. Hannah accurately stated her department's name and emphasized the purpose of her visit. Chul-wei couldn't understand why a civil servant would help him find a wife. In the midst of the tension, Hannah snatched Bong Chul-wei's phone and demanded that he listen to her. But she accidentally dropped it, damaging the device. Chul-wei hurriedly picked up his broken phone, visibly upset. At that moment, an announcement congratulating Chol Wei on his upcoming wedding was broadcast. Chol Wei quickly distanced himself from Hannah but gradually came to believe she wasn't deceiving him. Hannah handed Chol Wei a form, telling him he only needed to fill it out, and City Hall would find a suitable match for him. However, Chol Wei returned the form, stating that he had never said he wanted to get married. The previous documentary had exaggerated his desire for a family. Hannah grabbed Chol Hui's hand and began explaining the benefits of marriage, such as emotional and mental support from a partner. At that moment, she received a message reminding her of her evening singing class. If she didn't leave the island soon, she would miss today's session. Thinking of this, Hannah hurriedly grabbed Bong Chol Hui's wrist and asked if his house had any vacant rooms. Determined to leave the fake marriage promotion team, she vowed to do whatever it took to get Bong Chol Wei married. Chol Hui's house was small but cozy. For their first meeting, he prepared a delicious meal for Hannah and his nieces and nephews. The children mistakenly thought Hannah was their uncle's girlfriend and sweetly said that living with her would be no problem at all. Chol Wei, who had always been single, felt extremely embarrassed. After dinner, Chol Wei asked Hannah if she had ever been married. In response, Hannah opened up about her personal pains, including her failed matchmaking experiences and how her ex-boyfriend had betrayed her. At present, Hannah believed she was unworthy of marriage. To her, marriage meant trust and responsibility, and only those who could bring happiness to each other should marry. Although she didn't know much about Chol Wei yet, seeing how he cared for his family, she believed he was trustworthy and kind-hearted. Chol Wei smiled and admitted that not only was he a good person, but he was also very loyal. Hannah returned to work, planning to continue observing Chol Hui's situation in a few days. Unexpectedly, the next day, she received a call saying that Chol Wei was waiting for her downstairs. He cheerfully handed her a completed marriage registration form, ready to get married to prove his suitability for family life. Hannah was both surprised and excited. Suddenly, a man softly called her name from behind. She turned around and saw her ex-boyfriend, the one who had betrayed her. Without hesitation, Hannah slapped him hard across the face. Thinking Hannah was being harassed, Chol Wei quickly stepped in. Hannah grabbed his hand and declared to her ex-boyfriend that Chol Wei was her fiancé. Both men were stunned. Hannah pretended to be affectionate with Chol Wei, lying that he was her fiancé. After her ex-boyfriend left, Chol Wei naively asked when they would get married, praising the efficiency of civil servants, before happily leaving to prepare for the wedding. Still bewildered, Hannah discovered that her ex-boyfriend, Cho Ji-jun, was the new team leader of the marriage promotion team. Hannah tried to avoid being alone with Cho Ji-jun. After work, she returned to the office to retrieve her forgotten phone, only to have Cho Ji-jun grab her hand. She coldly declared that she had moved on from the past. Cho Ji-jun recalled the image of her in a wedding dress 3 years ago, beautiful and brimming with happiness, just within his grasp. Despite her rejection, he had no intention of giving up. The next day, Cho Ji-jun visited the staff dormitory to help Hannah pack her things, as the room had been reassigned to Chol Wei during the matchmaking period. He changed a light bulb for her and invited her to dinner, but she declined. Meanwhile, on the small island, Chol Wei packed his belongings and brought his niece, nephew, and Hannah's favorite dishes to the city. The next morning, Hannah greeted them. Chol Hui's niece asked if Hannah would take responsibility if this matchmaking attempt failed. Hannah laughed and quickly changed the subject. They arrived at the dormitory, where Chol Wei invited Hannah to stay for dinner. Thanks to his cooking skills, she ate a large portion and thoroughly enjoyed the meal. As they were about to leave, Cho Ji-jun appeared once again. Chol Wei immediately hugged Hannah but, upon learning that Cho Ji-jun was her team leader, politely shook hands with him instead. Cho Ji-jun subtly mentioned that he had moved into the dormitory apartment next to Chol Hui's. The following Monday, under Cho Ji-jun's leadership, the team began selecting suitable matchmaking candidates for Chol Wei. The team received many applications from women interested in meeting Chol Wei. To ensure the best match for his needs, Hannah asked Chol Wei to fill out a matchmaking questionnaire with A or B options for each question. Chol Wei took it seriously, marking his preferences, such as whether he preferred a clingy or independent partner. The team helped filter the female candidates but found that most had ulterior motives, like influencers seeking to promote their channels. Only one woman seemed genuinely compatible. Meanwhile, Hannah reflected on her own thoughts about marriage. Before her ex-boyfriend's betrayal, she had dreamed of a warm and happy married life where her partner would cook for her. Although those dreams had shattered, Hannah did not regret her current decisions. The next day was the matchmaking date. Chol Wei asked Hannah to accompany him to the mall to choose suitable attire. She agreed and selected a white shirt for him but noticed scars all over his back. After shopping, Hannah reassured Chol Wei that there was no need to worry about the upcoming date. Chol Wei joked about how Hannah had once declared him her fiancé, making them both laugh. This playful moment was witnessed by Cho Ji-jun, who couldn't hide his jealousy. Elsewhere, Oh Ina, the daughter of a conglomerate chairman, was also participating in matchmaking events but had yet to find a suitable match. Shortly after rejecting one date, a man shouted a warning and pushed Oh Ina aside, saving her from a falling helmet. The man, who looked like a wealthy gentleman, turned out to be Chol Wei. With his hair neatly styled, he looked strikingly handsome. Soon after, water spilled on him, but he was more concerned about the small scratch on Oh Ina than his own appearance. He handed her a bandage and left quietly. This incident prompted Chol Wei to return to his casual look, plaid shirts, a padded jacket, and naturally curly hair. To make a good impression on the date, he planned to tell a few simple jokes. But Hannah immediately dismissed the idea, advising him to just be himself. The marriage promotion team pretended to be customers at the restaurant to observe Chol Hui's date. His date was a gentle and beautiful woman who shared her desire for a partner who enjoyed home-cooked meals and the simple joys of everyday life. Chol Wei, an excellent cook, was touched and agreed with her views on marriage. The team anxiously hoped the date would succeed. In the end, the date went well, and the two even agreed to meet again. Afterward, Hannah took Chol Wei to a family-style restaurant to enjoy a home-like meal away from home. Chol Wei tried the food and loved it, savoring its comforting, home-cooked flavor. Hannah smiled and said, "Home-cooked meals don't have to be eaten at home. As long as you're with someone you cherish, any place can feel like home. Friends who make you feel at ease and happy can turn any meal into a home-cooked one." The restaurant owner, a close friend of Hannah's who was practically family, always made her feel joyful whenever she dined there before heading home in the evening. Chol Wei shared his thoughts, emphasizing the importance of home-cooked meals in the matchmaking survey he completed earlier. For the question, "What do you think about marriage?" he wrote, "Marriage is like a home-cooked meal." He explained his vision of simple and fulfilling happiness to Hannah, expressing his desire to share meals with his future partner. Hannah recalled the woman from the matchmaking date, who had been impressed by Chol Wei. During the date, he had poured warm water instead of cold for her, a small detail that revealed his gentle nature beneath his humble exterior. Chol Wei enjoyed taking his nieces and nephews shopping. When a broken kindergarten bus left a group of children stranded by the roadside, he quickly fetched shopping carts from a nearby supermarket. He let the children sit in the carts and carefully held each one's hand, helping them safely cross the street. Hannah happened to pass by and was charmed by Chol Hui's sincerity in that moment. A passerby captured the scene of Chol Wei helping the children cross the road and shared it on social media. The heartwarming images made him an online sensation once again, earning him a new nickname, the adorable shopping cart guy. Oh Ina saw the news and realized that the adorable shopping cart guy, was the same prince who had saved her earlier that day. Moved by the incident, she visited Chol Hui's dormitory that evening, only to find Hannah already there. When Hannah opened the door, she was stunned to see Oh Ina, the woman who had an affair with her ex-boyfriend, Cho Ji-jun. 3 years ago, at that exact moment, Cho Ji-jun happened to walk by. Seeing the two people who had betrayed her standing together, Hannah was filled with anger.